So why is it so hard to save, especially now in 2025? Today, I'm going to cover what I believe are 5 really big reasons that saving money is so hard to do, especially now. Frank Thomas here from Wealth Generation Strategies, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the topic of saving money, and especially why is it so hard to save in 2025. Now, some of these reasons I'm going to cite in this video are kind of universal. They kind of go over many years, but I think there are a few here that are very unique to today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to illustrate 5 places where I think that there's problems that are going to make it very hard for you to save, plus a solution to each one of them so you can save. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. Number 1. First and foremost, our favorite friend, inflation. Inflation is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Nationally, inflation rates have been about 2.5 to 3% over the last 100 years or so. But since the pandemic in 2020, inflation rates have jumped as high as 9%, and that really erodes how far your money will go, so you got less to save. So here's the fix when it comes to inflation. Having a budget here will be crucial. A budget allows you to future forecast costs of goods and services, and it blows my mind how few people use a budget to forecast into the future. It is such a wonderful tool. And if you're forecasting, it'll give you kind of a low watermark on how much you're going to need to make going forward on your bills and still allow to pay yourself first, because you want to pay yourself first and start saving. So that's how you cover inflation. Number 2, which is, I think it's really a unique situation to today's times, is economic uncertainty. Economic uncertainty is another factor that can really throw you into a tailspin. Right now, companies have become nervous with terrorists in the wind and wars and rumors of wars and you name it. Companies are more apt to offer lower wages and stop hiring altogether. So it's hard to make enough to make a difference. And I've actually noticed this since about 2023. And now in 2025, it's really, really matured. And wow, wages have dropped significantly across the board. And companies are as nervous as ever to hire people on. So economic uncertainty doesn't help. Also, too, it can cause what I like to call microinflation. This is where the price of certain things will jump in certain areas because of uncertainty in a supply chain. Remember, during the pandemic, all these things of, supply chain. The higher the demand and lower supply, the higher the price. And that's what you call microinflation. So the fix to this one, today, more than ever, you need to have an emergency fund established. And an emergency fund is a fund where you put away money, and it's for drop-dead emergencies in your life, and you will have an emergency. Consider starting an emergency fund with at least $1,000, but eventually grow it to about 6 months worth of expenses. I do have other videos on this channel that talk extensively about emergency funds, but that's kind of the overarching idea behind an emergency fund. And I promise you, an emergency fund can save you from a lot of bumps in the road. But another bump in the road, before we head into point number 3, let me tell you, nothing helps the YouTube algorithm to recognize videos that I'm publishing more than you liking this video. So if you're liking this video so far, give it a like. And if you're liking the video and want to watch more videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. YouTube has changed the way they are showing videos nowadays, and you could be a subscriber and not see another video from my channel, and you want to see the videos. So if you click the notification bell, you will get notified when I drop the next video. So be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much. Point number 3, natural disasters. I don't know if we're experiencing more natural disasters in 2024 and into 2025, but I will say that one of the things that is an outcome of this is insurance companies, again, are another entity that are very nervous. What happens is the rates of insurance costs go up, and even being insured becomes very hard. A good example of this is the California wildfires, where homeowners were unsure if they would have any coverage after this devastating fire. They might have had insurance, but the insurance companies go belly up because of this natural disaster. I know, and something a little more personal to me is the town I live in 2016, there was a huge and very expensive flood. Getting above ground flood insurance to this day is possible, but it's completely not worth it because you're going to be funding your own premiums every 3 years. And the most they would give you is $10,000. Well, with a lack of insurance options, this puts a lot of pressure for us to self-insure. And that's what I had to do. I had to chunk away $10,000 just to cover in case I did have a flood. This isn't a bad thing to be self-insured because you're insuring yourself with your own money. So if you don't need it one day, you have it and it's just not gone. But it does put pressure on saving money once again. It makes it especially hard to get insurance in some cases, and insurance will be very expensive. And again, it's eroding how much money you have at the end of the month to save. Okay, so the fix here, this is a bit of a tough one. In my case, like I mentioned earlier, I self-insured for ground flood insurance. I've tagged funds into my long-term savings that is especially for this if it does occur. And you might have to do that for other types of natural disasters and that. It does come down to being diligent and being proactive and making sure. I remember I was watching a video from somebody living in Florida, and they had these tornadoes going through, and they were very diligent. And they said when you have diligence and you're blocking your windows and you're doing everything you're supposed to, the chances of damage are greatly reduced. It's not zero, but it can be brought pretty close to zero. So due diligence, that may be the fix. Number 4, technological advances. As more and more technological advances occur, there are simply more and more things we can have to spend our disposable income on. This puts, again, pressure how much we can save for ourselves because we spend it. The fix is really simple. I find you sleep on all purchases. You want to go buy something, sleep on it. Sleep on it for a week if you need to. Allow your friends and family to purchase and experience the new things first. That's fine. This might not be cool or fun, but when you got $1 million in the bank one day, who will be the one laughing then? Just think about it. If you decided something that it would benefit you more than the initial expense, be patient and see if you can get it on sale. Possibly buy it from a relative at a deep discount. Who knows? Number 5, our wants. And this to me is the big kahuna. We are our biggest enemy. We can very quickly and easily translate wants to needs. Just as a definition, a want is something we don't need. We want it. I want that new iPhone. I want that new device. I want that book. I want that new car. But do we really need it? Let me just give you a quick example of our wants and how they can betray us. About a year ago, I saw in Costco a tablet that was a really good price, $700-800, and they were a lot more than that. It was a Samsung tablet. And I thought, oh, I haven't bought a tablet for a long time. I'm going down the road where I shouldn't go down. I've already begun. Do I really need it? Well, probably not, because I haven't used it a lot since I bought it. But I bought it, and I slept on it and everything. And over time, I convinced myself this is something I really need. I'm going to use it, etc., etc., etc. So as you can guess, yes, I did buy it. And after I got it, I used it diligently for about a month. And after that month, I actually don't know where it is. It's in the clutter somewhere. And I wish I could just get this money back on this device. Because it's like, and you know, if it's anything, it's a lesson. And it reminded me that I have to really think about what I spend my money on before I spend the money. So I recommend that's something you do too. Your wants are going to betray you and they're going to eat away what you can save. You'll be amazed at what you don't need when you don't buy it and discover a month later, wow, I really didn't need that. It's quite incredible. So there you have it. 5 things that are actively working against us and making it hard to save in 2025. But this, believe it or not, is not as bad as things can get. Oh no. In the video showing up on the screen right now, you see a video that talks about my $1 million mistake. Yes, this is not clickbait. This was a $1 million mistake. And I'd like you to be able to avoid this mistake as well, so be sure to watch this video. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today. This is Frank Thomas, and we'll talk to you again. And hey, start saving in 2025. Ciao for now.